Well, thank you, music team, for that wonderful song. It's one of my favorite prosperity songs. So I invite you to join me in taking that consciousness of that song into our hearts. Let's take a moment and just close our eyes and take a nice deep breath. And as we exhale, we relax into this moment, centering ourselves in our hearts. We remember and understand spiritually how loved we are and how we are always being provided for abundantly. And that our part is to be open and receptive, knowing that we are always in the flow of that infinite abundance and affluence and prosperity of spirit that is blessing us in every moment. And so we give thanks for these spiritual teachings that help us to rise above every circumstance, to be blessed in every moment, and to enjoy this life as it is meant to be enjoyed. And so it is. Amen.
Welcome to Unity. My name is Shirley Rao, and we recognize each and every one of you as a wise, loving, powerful spiritual being. Thank you for sharing your radiant presence with us this morning. We are pleased that you have chosen to be with us today, either in person or online. If this is your first time being with us in person, please pick up a welcome packet in the foyer before you leave. Please join me as we declare together our opening affirmation, which is in the bulletin or on the monitor. Together, there is only one presence and one power in my life and in the universe, God, the good omnipotence. The Daily Word has daily devotions that inspire people around the world. As we affirm today's message, we become global prayer partners with others, sharing the same positive intentions for the good of all. We ask that you center within now and listen deeply as we share today's message. Donna Stevens will share the daily word in English, and David Lopez will share it in Spanish.
Good morning. Celebrating diversity and affirming unity, I am a presence of peace in the world. The road to world peace begins with my open-hearted acceptance of those who are different than me. Our world is vast and diverse, and its people come from a wide variety of cultures and histories. The more I learn about those whose lives differ from mine, the more I can appreciate their perspectives and emphasize with their struggles. When I make the decision to understand others, I discover that judgment fades in the light of compassion. Today, I sow peace through my acceptance and understanding. Peace in the world grows as I join my brothers and sisters in celebrating the glory of human diversity and affirming oneness in God. Nation shall not lift up sword against nation, neither shall they learn war any more. From Isaiah 2, chapter 4.
Buenos días. La palabra de hoy es paz mundial. Domingo 7 de marzo del 2021. Al celebrar la diversidad y afirmar la unidad, yo soy una presencia de paz. El camino hacia la luz mundial comienza tratando de corazón a las personas que son diferentes a mí. Nuestro mundo es vasto y diverso, y su gente tiene una amplia variedad de culturas e historias. Mientras más aprendo de quienes tienen culturas diferentes a la mía, más aprecio sus perspectivas y empatizo con sus desafíos. Tratar de comprender a otros puede generar discernimientos que dan paso a la compasión, lo que hace que el amor trascendiente el medio y podamos comunicarnos afablemente. Hoy siembro por más paz mediante la comprensión y la aceptación. La paz crece en el mundo cuando me uno a mis hermanos y hermanas para celebrar la gloria de la diversidad humana y para afirmar nuestra unión en Dios. Y de Isaías 2:4 la palabra dice: ninguna nación levantará la espada contra otra nación, ni se entrenarán más para hacer la guerra. Y así será.
Gracias.
Let's listen to Speak Only Love in preparation for meditation. We will remind you that you do not sing as a COVID precaution. Please hum the melody if you like.
Peace, peace, I speak only peace. Peace, peace, I speak only peace. From the morning's first light to the last star at night, let my words speak only peace.
So I invite you to join me now in this time of meditation. And we begin by closing our outer eyes and bringing our attention inward. And as we do that, we let go of any thoughts of concern, any problems we might be having, any stressful ideas or memories. We bring our attention inward to our hearts, aligning ourselves with that peace of God within us. And we relax by letting our shoulders relax, relaxing the jaw muscles and the tiny muscles around your eyes. Just finding a comfortable position, allowing the chair to support the weight of your body. We relax into this moment with deep conscious breathing. And so we begin with a full exhale, exhaling as much as possible, just releasing the air, making space for that first deep breath, breathing down deeply into the belly. We'll let the belly expand as we breathe in. And then gently release again, fully exhaling, letting go, relaxing. Breathing in again deeply, we open to the breath, letting the belly and the chest fill with air, receiving that sacred breath of life. And then we exhale again, releasing and relaxing. One more time, breathe in deeply. And this time as we exhale fully with a sigh. Feeling that release. Beginning to feel the peace of letting go. Letting go of busy thoughts. Letting go of concerns. Letting go of trying to control things. Letting go of the thoughts of things undone. As we let go and come into a quiet space, we are able to align ourselves with that perfect peace of God within us. And so I invite you to keep your attention in your heart space. And you may want to put one or both hands over your heart for a moment, just to be consciously aware of your spiritual center of divine love. Here is the center of that vibration of all-encompassing love. The love that loves for the sake of loving, not seeking reward or manipulation, not being withdrawn for any reason. For we are always loved, no matter what we have done or not done, no matter what has happened. We cannot keep divine love from loving us. Just breathe that truth into your heart now. Feel that vibration of compassionate assurance. And perhaps sometimes in meditation and prayer, you may hear that inner voice, I am always with you. We cannot separate ourselves from God's love. And it is in that consciousness of love and the consciousness of knowing that we are loved that we also open to the knowing that we are always provided for. No matter the circumstances of the outer, our part is to simply know that we deserve the abundance of God. We deserve a joyful life. We deserve to receive all the good that life has to offer. For we are meant to have a joyful life. And that includes prosperity, financial prosperity, good health, loving relationships, and peace of mind. Continue to keep your attention in your heart and notice how you feel when you hear those thoughts. If there is any thought that arises within you in contradiction to this truth, you can release it by saying, "This is not my truth." I am loved and provided for at all times. I am grateful and I am blessed. So let us take a few moments in the silence. I invite you to find that affirmation that causes your heart to open and sing with joy. To know that you are loved and always abundantly provided for. That in any moment you can open your mind and heart to receive God's overflowing abundance. For it is the Father's good pleasure to give you the kingdom. I open to receive overflowing abundance and blessings of all kinds in my life. Let that thought reverberate through you. I am open to receive abundance and all kinds of good in my life now. Estoy receptivo a los regalos del Espíritu Santo, la abundancia divina, en todas las bendiciones de Dios, aquí y ahora, con fe y gratitud. And now take another deep breath into your heart. Inhalamos a través del corazón. Activamos la vibración del amor divino. We activate that power and vibration of divine love within us that blesses us in every moment as we receive it. And we give thanks for that in unshakable faith. And we affirm that all people everywhere are awakening to the knowing that abundance is available in any moment as we align ourselves in love, peace, and joy to receive the blessings that are already ours in spirit, ready to come into our lives in full expression. As each one of us is lifted up in a prosperous consciousness, we help others too to receive prosperity and abundance. We affirm that we are all awakening to greater understanding of spiritual truth, that we might live in peace and abundance and harmony, well-being and joy. For these are the gifts of spirit that are already ours, and we claim them now in gratitude. And so it is. We take the time now to hold others in prayer by calling them to mind. So I invite you to think about those that you would like to hold in prayer, remembering that we never see them as victims. We never look at them in their difficulties. We see them as they are in spirit, already whole and well, peaceful and content. We see them prosperous. We see them enjoying their life to the fullest. We see them as the radiant spirits, the radiant spiritual beings that they are. And we keep those thoughts in mind as we speak these names now, either silently or out loud. And every time we think of these loved ones, we see them as the beautiful, radiant, spiritual beings that they are, manifesting their highest and their best. And we send our love, our faith and strength to all those affected by the pandemic, either health-wise or economically. We see them being provided with all that they need for well-being and abundance. And we affirm that infinite spirit of love and wisdom guiding all leaders in our country and everywhere around our world, that we all may awaken to the truth that we are one, that we may live in peace and harmony. And we claim that good in Christ's name. And so it is. And I invite you to join me now in affirming as Jesus taught us to pray our Lord's Prayer. Our Father, who art in heaven, hallowed be thy name. Thy kingdom come, thy will be done, on earth as it is in heaven. Give us this day our daily bread, and forgive us our debts, as we have also forgiven our debtors. And lead us not in temptation, but deliver us from error. For thine is the kingdom, and the power, and the glory, forever. Amen.
Truth, truth, I speak only truth. Truth, truth, I speak only truth. From the morning's first light to the last star at night, let my words speak only truth. Love, love, I speak only love. Love, love, I speak only love. From the morning's first light to the last star at night, let my words speak only love. Let my words speak only love. Let my words speak only love.
Well, this is our season of Lent, And this is the time when we prepare to have a resurrection experience at Easter. And one of the ways that we do that is we fast. You know, that's a normal practice for Lent for many Christians. I like the way Unity does it. We don't have to give up chocolate or anything else that we enjoy, but we do give up negative thinking. So we fast from negative thinking, and we feast on the ideas of truth that raise us up in consciousness, that open our hearts and our minds to have a joyful life experience no matter what's going on in the outer. And that's part of the difficulty, isn't it? Is that a lot of times our focus, most of the time, most of us are mostly focused on what our five senses tell us. Well, I saw that in the news, I heard that on the news, I heard people talking about it, I saw this happening, I saw that happening. And we are inundated by media telling us many things, showing us many things, and our human self responds to those things. They make an impression in our consciousness, especially those things that we see and hear at the same time. And that's why if we're learning something new, we want to see it and hear it, because the more senses we engage, the more we are taking it into our consciousness. And we know in Unity that our entire life experience is always affected by what state of consciousness we are in. There's a wonderful chapter in Charles Fillmore's book, Keep a True Lent. It's a wonderful reading this time of year, or any time for that matter. Charles Fillmore is the co-founder of Unity, along with his wife, Myrna. And in Keep a True Lent, there's a wonderful chapter on abundance. And yes, right now, a lot of people are challenged by a lack of abundance because of the pandemic and the things that are happening in the world. And obviously, a lot of people are struggling financially, and our hearts go out to all those who are challenged by not having enough financial flow into their lives. And what we would want everyone to know is that flow is available. No matter if businesses are shut down, no matter if the markets are not working well, no matter what's going on in your life, no matter if you've lost that job, can still be that flow of abundance as you know how to open to it. In the book, Keep a True Lent, in this chapter on abundance, Charles Fillmore tells a story about a man in England who was at church, and they're passing the offering plate, and he reaches into his pocket and picks out this coin, and he drops it in the offering plate, and then he notices that he's put in a very expensive, very valuable coin, not just a small penny, or pence, as they might say in England, that he had wanted to put in the plate. And so he went to the pastor and said, you know, could I have that? I didn't mean to put that much money in the plate. And he says, oh no, I can't give you that back. And so the man says, okay, well, in that case, I'll get credit for it in heaven. And the preacher says, oh no, I hate to tell you this, but you'll only get credit for the penny. Consciousness is everything. It is what we believe about ourselves, what we believe about God and life and money. A lot of times people don't want to talk about money, thinking that it is not spiritual to want to have money for the needs of your life. Charles Fillmore actually taught that it is a sin to be poor. And that is not to condemn anyone who is not enjoying a lot of financial prosperity in their lives. It's just to say we are meant to be rich in whatever way is rich to us. Some people want a whole lot of possessions and things, and that's fine. Others want less. It's just whatever works for you, whatever makes you feel abundant, whatever makes you feel satisfied and content, whatever lets you enjoy your life. For we are meant to have enjoyment in this life. And we know spiritually that there is this infinite source. The key is, how do we open those windows of heaven? How do we open our minds and our hearts to receive this flow when there doesn't seem to be a flow in the outer? That's the question. And Unity knows that it's a matter of what's in our consciousness. What are we thinking about? What are we talking about? What are we worrying about or not worrying about? And so I have a slide here from a Unity minister, Florence Scoville Shin. So if I can share that with you. You are always inviting poverty or prosperity through the quality of your thought. And the next one too, please. The financial field is a large one, and we are all sowing and reaping in it every day. This is a quote from Charles Fillmore in Keep a True Lent. And in the book, he also talks to us about sowing ideas of abundance, sowing ideas that are prosperous, sowing ideas of peace and harmony and joy. And so what kind of seeds, what are we planting in our consciousness? How do we start our day? Do we start our day thinking about, I don't have enough? And I know there are people right now that don't have enough food or don't have enough money for prescriptions for the rent. So what I want to see is that each one of us comes up in prosperous consciousness, that we help others come up in prosperous consciousness too, because we are all one in spirit. Every time every one of us awakens to the knowing that we can always draw on this infinite field of substance. So the other field that we talk about is the field of awareness, the field of consciousness. You know, science is telling us that there is this field, invisible energy field of infinite possibility and potentiality. And so there is always more than enough available in the spirit realm, and we have the ability to call it into form, into this human experience. And so whether you call it source or the field of potentiality or God or spirit, whatever name you call divinity, in divinity is infinite supply, infinite possibilities. But yet we find so many of us are not prosperous and are not having more than enough experience in their lives. And Charles Fillmore in this chapter reminds us it's just because they don't know. They don't know by choosing different thoughts. They don't know by taking different actions and by feeling differently, by having a different consciousness, that flow can come into their lives. And I know people in our congregation that have had experiences of that. And so one of our congregants who does a lot of volunteer work and is always helping people, had someone come to him and say, you know, I know you're doing so much for so many other people, I want to do something for you. And so he paid for a whole new kitchen to be put into this house. And so the volunteer had an older house and it needed upgrading. And this man just came in and paid for the entire kitchen, tens of thousands of dollars, this beautiful kitchen. So you never know how your good's coming to you. It can come to us in many surprising ways. And I know that many of our congregants have shared with me their stories of prosperity and being blessed, and where they had been struggling when they began to think differently and speak differently and feel differently about themselves and about their relationship to this infinite supply, that they began to experience an abundance they never dreamed possible in their lives. It is possible. I know that I made that shift in my life too when I came to Unity. Because before that, I just thought life was going to be a long struggle and I would never have enough. And that was my experience with my family. That's how I grew up. You know, we didn't have very much. You know, we had to make our own clothes to go to school, and kids would make fun of my shoes, and it was awful, you know, living in that way that you saw others that had things, but you didn't. And it was a very uncomfortable position, but it was the consciousness that I grew up with. I would see my mother crying at night about how are we going to pay the bills. There are many sad memories about that. But when I came into Unity, they gave me a new message. You know, you're meant to be prosperous. You know, just change your thinking. And it took me a lot to overcome that resistance I had to believing, how can this be possible? You know, do these people know what they're saying here? And so I said, well, let me give it a try. What have I got to lose, you know? So the first thing I did was look, start tithing. And that was a whole other story. I've had a lot of resistance to that. But I remember when my spiritual teacher said to me, just give $1 out of 10. Give 10 cents out of $1. Whatever you have, just give that 10%. And you'll see everything change. And I'm thinking, how could God possibly want 10% of what little I have already? And then I heard, sitting in meditation, I heard this voice say to me, it's God's money anyway. And I went, oh, well, when you look at it that way, he only wants this much and I can have the rest. So that's the big shift in my life, and I began to prosper. And I have not been without since. And I've been through a lot, and I'm always blessed. And my favorite affirmation is, one of my favorites is, I am always abundantly provided for. So how do we get into that consciousness? And some of you I know read Abraham Hicks or see the videos on YouTube, wonderful teachings on prosperity. And Esther Hicks has conveyed to us this understanding of Abraham about having plenty and not having plenty. And one of the things that she points out is that so many times we think we're thinking about prosperity. We think we're speaking about prosperity. We think we're feeling abundant when we're really not. And she said, think about it. For one thing, if you're working at it too hard, then you're not in the flow. If you're working at it too hard, you're in fear. Think about it. If you know you're already blessed, if we know all the money you need is already there, if we know that it is the Father's good pleasure to give us the kingdom, then why are we working so hard? Because we know we're in lack. The money's not showing up yet. It's not in the bank account. Where is it? Where's the money? So here's what she says about that. She said that when we are doing that, it's like we are beating the drum of not enough. Do you know what that one is? Not enough, not enough. Where's the money? I don't have it. Where's the money? I don't have it. Why am I suffering this way? It's awful. It's awful. There's not enough money. I can't pay the rent. It's not enough money. It's awful. It's awful. This stuff doesn't work. I'm saying these affirmations and it's just not working. And I'm working so hard at this. But you know what? I'm going to talk to my friend. Oh, I am so down in my luck. I just don't have enough money and things are not working out for me. And I'm saying all these affirmations and I'm doing the vision board and I'm doing this and I'm doing that. And it's just not making any sense and it's not making any difference. And I think this whole stuff is a total lie. That feels horrible, doesn't it? But that's what we're doing. How many times do we complain about, I don't have enough money, or I can't afford it? So how do we shift out of that? If it's a struggle, there's resistance. If it's not showing up, there's a block somewhere. What is keeping us out of the flow? We're beating the drum of not enough while we're saying, I am prosperous, but the whole time we're feeling poor. We're feeling in lack. The feeling is what we have to change, because the feeling is the vibration. We are vibration, money has vibration, spirit has vibration, the material world has vibration. What vibration are we going to align with? And so Esther Hicks says, relax. Don't work at it too hard. Don't make it a struggle. Because if you are, you know you're in fear. So it's all about, how am I feeling? So what is going to make me feel more prosperous? First of all, you want to do something that's fun, that makes you feel more prosperous. And some of you have heard the thing that I used to do to get into a prosperity consciousness was carry around a lot of money with me. Like $200 or $300 always in my pocketbook, you know. Oh, there's a country term, my pocketbook. A couple of $100 or $300 in my purse. Didn't spend it most of the time. Just walk around and go into a store. I could buy that. That would be fun. Go to the restaurant. I can order the most expensive thing on the menu. Or take a trip. I could do that. I could do that. I have the money for that. And then there were times when there were emergencies and I had the money. But then I replaced it, the cash, immediately, because I always wanted to have that feeling that I have money. I always have money. I have enough money. One of my favorite stories about making it fun is Edwina Gaines, when she and her friend had decided to go on this trip. They're working on their prosperity consciousness, and so they decided they were going to take a trip. And they were going to go to the beach and enjoy life. And so Edwina said, sure, we can do this. And so she started affirming for the money and visualizing it and talking about it. And they decided to do something that rich people do when they have fun. So they went she went with her friend to the pool, the apartment where her friend lived, and they sitting by the pool, and they had bought, Edwina had bought this little jar of olives stuffed with almonds. Notice what little bitty jars those things come in? You know, fancy little jars. And she says, I think this is what rich people eat. So they're sitting by the pool, eating the olives and stuffed with almonds, feeling rich, feeling like they're out on vacation on the beach. And so this is part of what they were doing. What a fun thing to do, right? Get into the fun of it, get into the joy of it. When we think about what would I want that is going to take more prosperity for me? Is it travel? Is it having a better car? Is it having a job that you enjoy and you're a blessing and blessed by it? Whatever the prosperity is that you want, think about how you're going to enjoy it. Perhaps buying your own home. Whatever it is, how will you feel when you're enjoying that? Because we want to know, not only we want to get clear about what we want and why we want it and how we're going to feel about it when it comes into being. And so they did make the trip. And the money for Edwina's airfare came the day that it was due. And here's how it came about. Years and years ago, she had an apartment with a roommate, and they had bought furniture together. They later moved to other cities, and so they left. The other person took the furniture with her, and Edwina went the other way. And so she didn't think anything about it. And then the day that she had to pay for the airfare for her trip, she went by her mother's and going, "Mother, I don't have the money to make this trip, and I want to go on this trip with my friend." And her mother says, "Oh, honey, I'm so sorry. But, oh, by the way, there's a letter here for you." It was from her former roommate, and the check was made out for her portion. She had sold the furniture, and she wanted Edwina to have her share of the money. And when she opened the envelope and saw the check, it was the exact amount for the airfare for her trip. This is the other thing that happens when we are in that state of prosperity consciousness. There is synchronicity that will bless us in the most surprising and entertaining ways. And so, but we want to feel it, get into the joy of it, make it fun. Whatever you want to do that makes you feel wealthy or prosperous, think about it, visualize, how will I feel when I'm there, when I get that? Some people will take their bank statement and white out what little is in there and write the figure that they want to see in their bank account. And every day look at that and go, wow, that's great money. I can do this and that, and I'll feel so good and secure and enjoying my life without worrying when that happens for me. We want to get into that consciousness, whatever it takes. So instead of beating the drum of not enough, we want to sing a happy song. And we want to say, there's more than enough. There's more than enough for me. There's more than enough for everyone. Prosperity is mine. I am a child of God, and I deserve to live a joyful life. Yay! So whatever it takes to get you in the joyful mood, sing about it, dance about it. We've got some dance to music that you like as you're affirming your prosperity and celebrating your abundance. So we have wonderful songs at Unity like the one we had today, More Than Enough, that express this joyfully. I don't know about you, but every time I sing that song, I just feel lifted up and I just embrace possibilities. And so whatever it is, make it fun. Don't make it hard work, because it's fun and joy that will get us out of the lower vibration into the higher vibration of prosperity and abundance that blesses us in every moment. We just simply need to know the principles, how they work, how to use them in our lives. And I do encourage you to look for Keep a True Lent and read that chapter on abundance. It's very good. And I also want to share this next quote with you. And this is also from Keep a True Lent, and it is, "The ultimate possession of lasting wealth is our ability to draw on the never-ending supply of spirit." There's a saying in Unity too, you cannot outgive God. That there is more than enough of everything for everyone. And when we can let go of those old beliefs that there's not enough, or that we don't deserve it, or it can happen to them, but it can't happen to me. If God really knew what was in my heart, I wouldn't get blessed. So whatever negative thought there is, for me it was, my family's not wealthy, I'll never be wealthy, I'm just going to have to work hard and scrimp and save and do whatever I can to get by. And what a heavy vibration that is, how depressing that is. But when we know it does not have to be that way, for there is an infinite supply, and with our thoughts, with our words, with our feeling, our emotions of joy and peace, we can move into alignment. Esther Hicks also points out that there is that inner self, the higher self within us, already knows that. And if we're not feeling good about money, if we're not feeling good about prosperity, then we're not in alignment with our higher self. We're not in alignment with our source. And so there are many tools for us to move into that vibration that allows us to receive this overflowing abundance of God. And that next slide, please. So Keep a True Lent says, "A cheerful state of mind pours more abundance into our thoughts." And many teachers will tell you is where you are, notice where you are. If you're not peaceful, if you don't feel good, then you're out of alignment. So try to think of anything you can think of that will make you feel better. Even if it's as little, I want this to change. I hope this can change. I'm willing to change my thoughts. I'm willing to be open to the knowing that this stuff can work. Whatever thought it is that will take you a step higher in your vibration, then another good thought will come, and another good thought, and another good feeling, and more joy. And it's like climbing a ladder to happiness. Because it's not about when I have money I'll be happy, but if I can be happy now, the money will come. If I can be happy now, the money will come. We're happy with what we have, we're grateful for what we have, no matter how little it is, and we begin to trust this process as we see others prospering by using these principles. So we want to keep a cheerful state of mind and allow more abundant thoughts to come in, which will create more abundance. And the last quote I have for you is, "The spiritual law works for those who persist in its application." So if you find yourself beating the drum of not enough, be aware, think a new thought, reach for a new feeling that will bring you into the joy of, it can be mine, it is coming to me now. Imagine yourself already there. Imagine yourself already enjoying it. And every time that doubt or anxiety creeps in, make another shift. Be persistent in not just beating the drum of not enough, but singing a song of joy with a cheerful heart. May wonderful abundance be yours and all for all people. God bless you.
We have to smile with our eyes now because of the mask. You see smiles in your eyes. Okay. We are grateful for your prayers and your financial support. Every gift makes a difference in our lives. Because of your donations, we feed the homeless every week. Because of your donations, we have a supportive prayer chaplain ministry. Because of your donations, we provide services and classes in person and online. And because of your giving, we have this spacious and peaceful spiritual center. Thank you. It's easy to give by clicking the donate button on our website, www.unitynorthtampa.org. You can also send checks to our mailing address, which is also on our website. If you are with us in person today, please put your donations in one of the offering baskets by the sanctuary doors in the foyer. Thank you. Please join me in declaring our abundance affirmation. I am divine love and infinite abundance. All that I am, have, give, and receive multiplies and blesses me and the world.
Thank you, Shirley. And so please join me as we bless our offering today. And I invite you to bring your attention into your heart again as we give thanks, knowing that that infinite supply of Spirit is always available to us as we open our minds and our hearts to receive it, knowing that we are meant to be abundant and enjoy an abundant life. We give thanks for each gift given in love, recognizing that one and only source of all that is always blessing us richly. And we give thanks for it and blessing each gift that has come either electronically or in the mail or in person. We bless these gifts and dedicate them to the will and the work of the Christ, in whose name we pray. Amen.
Our homeless outreach team delivers food and clothing to the homeless every Saturday. We welcome more volunteers to help with preparation and delivery. Please come at 9:15 to help make sandwiches, and please come at 10:45 if you would like to help to deliver these gifts to Fletcher Avenue. We need more donations of men's and women's tennis shoes, t-shirts, shorts, and jeans in XL, 2XL, and 3X sizes. Please do not donate household items because we are not equipped to handle those items. Angie Castellino leads the Vibration Attunement online class in an interactive discussion and advanced spiritual teachings on Thursday between 1 and 3. The link for the class is on our website, Facebook, and Meetup. A Course in Miracle meets online on Tuesdays at 7 p.m. and the link is on the website and Meetup. Reverend Virginia leads our weekly prayer unity circle on Wednesdays at 7 p.m. online. The link to log on is on our website, our weekly emails, and Meetup. If you would like to receive our weekly emails with our up-to-date information, please contact us through our website, unitynorthtampa.org. Jan Cohen leads our in-person grief recovery group today from 12:30 to 2:30. This is a safe environment to talk about losses such as the passing of a loved one, a pet, a job, or any life changes and challenges. Mark your calendars so that you remember to change the clocks before you go to bed next Saturday, March the 14th, when we spring forward an hour. Our prayer chaplains are available to pray with you after the service with mask and social distancing. Everything shared with them is absolutely confidential. Our prayer chaplains on duty are wearing purple stoles.
And thank you, Shirley. So it's now time for us for our peace song. If you would like to stand as we hum along and sway along. Also, you may want to raise your hands in sending peace to everyone, everywhere, to our world, and to every circumstance in this human experience as we sing this truth.
Peace on earth, love is
And now I invite you to join me as we affirm our oneness together. Together, the light of God surrounds us. We are light. The love of God enfolds us. We are love. The power of God protects us. We are power. The presence of God watches over us. We are presence. Wherever we are, God is within us, and all is well. Amen.